After the ruin, we started over, creating a new society, one of true equality. Rules were the building blocks of that equality. We learned them as new children. Rules like use precise language, wear your assigned clothing, take your morning medication injection, obey the curfew, and never lie.
Okay, Jonas, get up. We're done with today's training.
Giver, we can't continue living like this. Change needs to take place.
I understand what you mean. However, in order to change, it will require time and effort.
What about us then? Don't you need a break from this exhausting job? Personally, I certainly don't want to become the next receiver and suffer alone, while the rest continue living their lives obliviously.
It's too late for me, Jonas. I've lived my majority of my life doing this. I can't imagine how my daily life would look like if the rules were to change.
Think of your family and how you'd be able to share everything with them, from sharing the good memories to the books that you've read.
Wait, you're reminding me of something. It's time to introduce you to books. These books contain the knowledge of centuries. You're the only ones who are allowed to read them and own them. So here you go.
Okay, who writes these books?
They're called authors. And the book that you're holding right now is called One Dimensional Man. And its author is Herbert Marcuse.
Herbert Marcuse. What a funny name.
When this book appeared 50 years ago, it was a revelation. Now, go and read it. It's yours now.
Good morning, Giver. I read the book.
So what do you think of it?
I understood very little, however, I could sense that his ideas relate to our community. I wish I could meet him. He spoke of some things that were called totalitarianism and negative thinking. I wonder what he actually meant by them.
Oh, I can help you with that. Just lay down.
It's time to stop living in a society in which leaders retain absolute power and are therefore in a position to push decisions quicker than in political structures like that of the United States. Decisions in the American government go through a lengthy process and are affected by many checks and balances to prevent abuse of power. It's time to stop living in a society in which direct authority allows politicians to retain complete order and influence the economy, instead of several influences winning and losing strength. Generally, the democratic cycle leaves a vast portion of the votes as a wild card, as well as an unproductive owing to the fight to be re-elected. I think it's very clear who holds the greatest amount of power. The only people who are capable to rise or rebel against their authority and to create a riot are the outcasts who didn't get the chance to integrate into society, or as I call it, the one-dimensional society, meaning the exploited and the unemployed whose living standards would somehow demand change. It's time to change. It's time to be better.
It's time to change. As I finished reading One Dimensional Man today, I again and again seem to be encountering the society in which I live. It's a major step in our breaking out of that introverted universe of ours, by naming it, by helping us to become conscious and aware of it, by conveying its overwhelming power. Marcuse helped us to define ourselves in opposition to it, total opposition. Our society is a submissive society that gives in its freedom for the sake of the relaxation of mind, led by elders that control each and every choice and decision of every individual in the community. People act like herds of sheep. No one wonders about why he does what's implied on him. There has to be reasoning, logic, and most importantly, choice. The freedom of choice is a hard thing to achieve if the community is submissive like my community. After I read One Dimensional Man by Herbert Marcuse, I had a strange feeling of opposition and a sheer will to fight for what I want and what is best for the community. And most importantly, the commitment in order to fulfill this goal, which is providing everyone with freedom of choice. What Marcuse taught me was a life changing lesson. He taught me that no matter the goal that you're trying to reach, don't stop fighting for it. Don't give in for anyone under any circumstances. Our society needs change. This change is needed in order to have a balanced society between the leaders and the community. One of Marcuse's ideas was negative thinking. This ideology can help our community massively. First, by bringing our issue into consciousness in order for the people to realize what we got ourselves into and what is hidden from them. Myself and the giver carry a huge burden and a huge locker of secrets that's kept away from its rightful citizens. This locker must be shared amongst all of the community. We must all endure the painful memories and enjoy the joyful memories together. It's time to change.